Hey guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. So if this is not your first video on my channel, you might know I have a slight obsession for dysfunctional families. We're talking about parents, actual mom and dads, betraying their children in ways that I didn't know was even possible. Husband, 29 male, slept with my mom, 55 female, right before we got married 2 years ago, including an update. He confessed it to me yesterday out of guilt. Oh, starting like with diving straight in.
Let's do this.
The details are that he was extremely drunk on his bachelor party night, which I knew had happened. He doesn't drink often and overdid it. Said the next morning that he didn't remember anything after a certain point. I thought nothing of it. Looking back, I can see how he was acting pretty off, which I assumed at the time was wedding jitters. Now he's told me that he did remember coming home that night, which was when my mom, staying with us for that week for the wedding, came on to him. He went along with it to the point of ending up having intercourse in her bed. Wait, Wait, there's no context. We're just driving straight in. I need to wait. Okay, wait. Usually we're not like this deep into it after 2 sentences. Okay. In fact, he passed out on her bed and was there the whole night. My bachelorette party was the same night. I came home around 3 a.m. to see he wasn't in her bed. I texted him but assumed he had crashed with a friend, as he said he might do that if things got crazy. But he was actually with my mother, right in the room next door. The next morning, he quietly slipped out while I was asleep, then opened the door pretending he'd just come home after sleeping off the drunkenness at his friend's. He got into bed with me and told me that lie. As if that wasn't enough, he also initiated sex soon after that.
No, God!
Oh my god, ew, 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 ew. Oh, that's so messed up. That is so messed up. I can't. He had been my mother just a few hours before. We got married the very next day. Okay, let's just read because I need to take a sip. F everything. I literally cannot believe this. My mother has a history of trying to flirt with guys I've dated and being inappropriate. Not this bad, but still. Okay, that's already really... Why would you do that? That's awful. My husband knew this. We laughed about it. He assured me he would never in a million years think she was attractive. What the F? It's always the ones he told you not to worry about, huh?
Oh, don't you worry about that.
I called her last night just saying, husband told me everything. She spent several minutes pretending not to know what I was talking about, then denying everything and saying he was making it up. Then claiming she'd woke up to my husband forcing himself on her. She's not doing the oh my god, oh my god.
The audacity!
Oh my god, you cannot be this type of person and then saying the other person forced himself on you in this situation. The sheer audacity of the BS she's capable of is beyond any disgust I can probably convey. I eventually just ended the call. I could not stop crying. She refused to even admit the truth, let alone take any responsibility or apologize. I'm not even worth basic honesty in my own mother's eyes. I'm not even worth a half-assed I'm sorry to her. A person who's supposed to love you no matter what. And does she also think I'm stupid? Why keep lying to someone who knows you're lying unless you actually think they're fall for your... Today I can't cry at all. Everything feels unreal. I am completely lost. And I almost feel like I dreamed this or something. I've lost the 2 most important people in my life. Yeah, that's always the messed up thing in this. Because you're not only losing the person who betrayed you, it's also a second person involved, which is also very close to you. Usually there's not a woman and a man, you don't know, who cares? You have nothing, you're nothing to them. And they're nothing to you, but now you're losing 2 people at the same time. I think that is like, or when you lose multiple people in the process, like someone else was lying for them or trying to keep it a secret, you lose all those people in the process. And I think that's the biggest hit someone can take. If this is like close friends, your surroundings, like your actual life, It breaks you. It really breaks you. Because they decided that that wasn't as important to them as having a quick F. Well, I hope it was the best 10 minutes of their lives. And sure, maybe my husband didn't come home that night with the planned intention of sleeping with her. He probably didn't, and it was just a horrible judgment from over drinking.
Are you sure?
No, I'm sorry. No, you cannot blame this on alcohol. I mean, you can do stupid things while you're on alcohol, but not sleep with the parent of your fiance, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever partner, better half. No, it doesn't work like that. You don't do these things because then, somewhere deep down, apparently, when they were sober, they were already thinking about it, or there was a small chance that they would do it anyways, but they didn't have the guts. And probably he was drunk and he was like, okay, why not? You know, they have the courage, the drinking courage. If you have that courage at night, you should have the courage during the day as well when you're sober. Then man up. And I mean, at least he told her, but 2 years later, I don't know what's the point of that. That doesn't change the fact that he and my mom had intercourse. No one should be able to say that about their spouse. How is that normal? I cannot imagine remaining in a marriage where my spouse has slept with my mom literally 2 nights before our wedding. I mean, 2 nights before, 2 nights after, it doesn't matter at this point, but it just makes it worse because 2 days later, he said yes for better and worse, and he committed to you officially. Like, oh my God. Maybe he thought I wasn't married yet, so it's less bad. It's not as bad as being married and doing it in the eyes of the church or whatever their religion is. There's simply no coming back from that, right? Why you're questioning yourself? No, I will never get over or forgive it. Okay. I feel absolutely revolted that for the last 2 years they've been at family visits together, acting more or less normal, with me right there like a stupid effing clueless fool. There's probably much more that I'm forgetting, but maybe it doesn't even matter. I'm just done. My life is gone, and I have no idea where I will be next week, let alone next year. We were going to be together for the rest of our lives. Now it's gone. Just like that. I have nothing. What can I do now? How do I possibly explain to the rest of the family why we are divorcing? I am so effing humiliated. Okay, so that was the original post. We're moving straight to the updates. So most of you are pointing out that it sounded like my husband was too drunk to consent, meaning she forced himself on him. When I spoke to him again after reading all of that, I asked him carefully if he felt that she took advantage of his drunkenness. There was a long pause. He sighed and gave me that look that was just full of guilt and sadness, and then basically he said no, that it would be easy to go with the out I was giving him, but that I deserved the full truth. Oh my God. I'm pleasantly surprised that he's not taking this out, but yeah, does it even matter at this point? He then proceeded to tell me that before that night, they had been thing for several months. He had not told me this the first time he confessed. He went on to tell me more, explaining that he left this out because of the biggest issue was the actual cheating, and he hadn't wanted to hurt me by giving all the lead-up details. He only gave them this time out of some remaining sense of honor, I guess. He said that he had been more of a coward if he misled me to think that she forced him on him. So I guess he's not much of a liar as he could be. Don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, mixed feelings as well about this one.
It's that I have mixed feelings about you. I question your intentions.
Anyway, they had been including exchanging nudes for a few months before the wedding. Now, I had known they texted sometimes. They always had a friendly relationship. Friendly my ass. I hadn't ever suspected anything weird. Like I said in the first post, he had been very clear that he'd never think of her sexually. I trusted him. I can't explain why they started sexting beyond he got caught up in the trail of doing something forbidden. There were implications made about wanting to do things in real life as a one-night thing should be the opportunity ever arise. Disgusting. Oh wow, they were kind of planning this, but they didn't have the balls to do it, or he didn't, because she was definitely sober at home. I don't think she was drunk when he came home, and she initiated it. For sure, she initiated it. Doesn't mean I'm defending him, but I have the feeling the mom is having a big role in, and like at the particular night we're talking about. Or she was thinking, now is my moment because they're getting married, and then after maybe he might chicken out or whatever she had in mind. So fast forward to our bachelorette parties night. The texting between him and her was going on while he was out that night. So what I said in my first post about he probably didn't come home intending to sleep with her, yep, that was wrong. He did. They made an appointment. They were actually planning this. Oh my God. In fact, him telling me he was going to stay overnight with his friend if he got too drunk was all part of the setup. He knew I'd be out very late at a show. He had the presence of mind to arrange a way to leave his party earlier in the night, go home, F my mother, and already have given me a plausible explanation for appearing not to be home when I got back at 3 a.m. so he could spend that one night with her. It was just important to him to have a full experience of falling asleep after intercourse and waking up next to each other.
Wait a minute!
Ew, what's wrong with these people? Like, the whole thing is already messy, but why having the whole experience? Which experience? He reiterated that he had been aware the whole time of what he was doing. Oh, he's making it worse. Okay, but are you just not hurting her now by giving all these awful details? Like, it already broke her and traumatized her that you did this. And okay, you told her. That's very nice of you. Thank you. But with these details, you are destroying her. Maybe this was not needed. Just say, I wasn't that drunk. And just keep at it. Why does she need to know? Sometimes you don't need to know all the details. It's okay not to know. He was not as drunk as he made it seem the next morning when he claimed not to remember anything that had happened. Yeah, man, just why are you doing this to her? I think that, okay, it's nice that she knows the truth, but I think that tripped people up on my first post into thinking he was incapacitated. Incapacitated. I thought I'd been clear that he admitted during his first confession that it was an act he put on to me at the time to cover up his cheating, which he then explained he actually remembered everything the next morning. So just to be clear again, while he did get drunk, at no point did he black out or become totally wasted to the point he was incapable of controlling his decisions and body. It just was, I can't. Okay, let's just read. He doesn't know if she was drunk too or relatively sober, and she had mentioned she was drinking when he was out at his party, but he doesn't know how much. Whatever.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
He said since that night he hasn't texted her at all except about logistics, details of visits, and one text he sent her the day after. And that the one he said it would never happen again and she'd lose me if I knew, correct, so she better never let it slip. She agreed. He claims everything between them since then has been normal mother-in-law relationship. Which normal mother-in-law relationship can you have at this point? Is he hearing himself? Do I believe it? Doesn't matter. He lied for 2 years and then lied by omission on his first confession. I can't. About the months-long build up to the affair. What's with my voice? During that time, I was bonding with my mother over wedding planning. She bought me dress shopping. It's effing disgusting. I'd be misplaced not to acknowledge his integrity about the forcing thing. He told me it'd be easy to run with that in order to keep me. I said if that's how it happened, I would stay with him. But that he already betrayed me, he wouldn't be able to live with himself if he made a false accusation about something so serious instead of taking the responsibility. Well, that's the only part I respect him for. Okay, I'll give him that. Fine. As for my mom, nothing, not a word from her since this weekend. Fine by me. I never want to see or hear from her again. It's almost like she died. I don't have a mother anymore. Ah, man, this sucks so, this is so bad. This is so sad. Now you have to grieve because like all the other stories when they lose these close family members, it's like they die. First, you're experiencing the betrayal. Then you have to go through the 5 stages of grief, literally, because it feels like they died. If you cut off a person like that harsh out of your life because of the betrayal this big, it feels like someone died. I really can't imagine that. Some of you asked about my father. Oh yeah, he died of a health issue in 2010 and my mom had a revolving door of men when I was a teen, but no real relationships. So I don't have a dad or a stepdad either. I'm also an only child. I have friends and some other family, but I just don't have the energy yet to tell them about any of this. So now we're moving on to the actual update. I'm proceeding with divorce and have gotten in touch with an attorney. I've kicked him out of the house. I think he's gone to his parents for the time being. Not looking forward to a legal battle whatsoever, but there's no possible way to remain married after this. I think he will cooperate because he came clean. He told you everything. He's not lying about any of the parts. I mean, it doesn't sound like it. So I think you will not have a big battle with divorcing, since I don't think he can live with himself anymore at this point. I think that's why he said it. At least someone is feeling guilt and trying to do something. To this day, he doesn't know why he did it. I have my own suspicions based on things he said in the past about wishing he had more sexual partners before me because he felt like he had missed out on his youth. Ooh, but why the mom? Okay, I can imagine that when you skip your youth and go into a relationship too young, and then you see people over 30, 40 breaking up, and then they realize they didn't have a youth, so they start to party and midlife crisis, everything, and they're doing things that only teenagers or people in their 20s should do, you know. But so I understand why people have this feeling, especially when they're getting married. But yeah, it's a bit too late to act upon it. You can feel this way, but you cannot act upon it. You need to accept it, let it go, move forward, or don't get married and have your youth or whatever you're looking for. That's not a moment to think that the last partner, that you can have one more partner before your actual marriage, should be your mother-in-law. It's a really bad idea. It's like a bad idea in general, but this one, like, oh my God. Maybe that was my clue. I wasn't enough for him. Should have listened, but let him and some friends talk me into believing I must be or he wouldn't be with me, and that all guys have regrets like that and sacrifice them for the right women. I'm not sure if every man is feeling like this. I mean, I can imagine that a lot of men thinking, no, never mind. I don't agree with this. He also struggles with overuse of watching inappropriate things on the internet. Sometimes stepmom is his favorite genre. It never struck me as anything other than a dumb thing. I won't be dating for a long, long time because obviously I'm colorblind to red flags. Oh my God, ew, it was his, like, fantasy in a way. He was watching that and now he acted upon it with your mom. Oh, wow, girl, you deserve so much better. This is like, I think this one is one of the most messed up stories I've read on the site. And that's saying something. Him sleeping with her mom is disgusting. But then him admitting to sleeping with her months beforehand and planning to sleep with OP's mom right before the wedding. That's a special type of effed up. He is nothing compared to the mom though. Wow, that's a whole new kind of effed up. I just feel dirty reading that. Poor OP. I hope she gets everything. I would not have thought the story could get worse, but it got so much worse. It's true. Like with every sentence, it got worse. He must have convinced himself that he wouldn't feel guilty if it only happened before they were married, and then realized that wasn't the case. I think that's what he thought as well. He thought, if let's do it before I get married, so I'm officially not married yet. I'm a single man. Like, no, you're not, but okay. And then it's okay. No, it's not. But I'm happy he couldn't live with this, honestly. So she can move on to someone she deserves and, like, screw the mom at this point. Like, okay, so let's move on to the second story. My father had an affair with my fiancé. My mom died 4 years ago from cancer, and me and my fiancé used to go to his place for dinner. Nothing unusual about that he was lonely, but lately his mood has improved, and I was about to find out why. If you say to his place, I assume you're talking about your father. So yeah, my dad invited us over to dinner, and then after dinner, they told me they needed to talk to me, which was odd. To her dad, we needed to tell you something. This is a strange sentence. I'm just assuming they just want to tell you something. Turns out they have had an inappropriate relationship for over 3 months, and me being a moron asked how many times I was starting to hyperventilate at that point, and they were both reluctant to share that. Wait, whoa. So you guys had dinner with your dad and your fiance, and then they said we need to tell you something, and then they just said we have been having a sexual relationship for the past 3 months. Like, just here you go with that information, do whatever you want with it. I eventually got the full story, won't write that here painful enough, and feel stupid for asking. I walked out and left them both, and I told Dad, you want her, you can keep her, you are both finished with me, and told my fiancé to give me the keys to my apartment. She was crying and she was struggling to get the key of her chain, so I did it for her and gave her back the other keys and told her I would pack her things. She would come over to pick it up when I was finished. These sentences are not great, by the way. I'm sorry, Opie. It's a bit hard to read. Her mom came over and picked up her things. She actually sent her mom to do it. I let her in and she had gotten the full story and was so sorry for everything, and I hoped I would get through this. My dad and I guess ex-fiancé now have been texting and calling me for the last week. I haven't responded or answered any of their calls, and my dad even called the cops because he was worried I might hurt myself. Oh, now suddenly you're worried about your son? Oh geez, thanks for the concern for my mental health, Dad. Maybe you should have considered that before effing my fiancé. Indeed, exactly. So I get 2 officers at my door who told me they had received a call from my dad, worried I might harm myself. I told the officer I was not suicidal and explained what had happened, and they both looked disgusted and apologized for bothering me and what I was going through. Wow. The look of pity from the officers made me feel worse. I just felt ashamed having to tell these 2 guys. Not sure why I felt ashamed, but I did. Of course, you feel ashamed. I mean, I would understand this. Anyways, Dad wants me to talk to him. I have no idea what to do here. I have no other family, no aunts, no uncles, and now no fiancé anymore. I have kept busy by going to the gym and trying to live my life as normally as possible. My fiancé has moved back with her parents, but she is apparently still in contact with my dad, since Dad keeps texting me that she is worried about me. Apparently, I'm the a-hole here since he feels that I should not treat her this way. So yeah, I am the a-hole here apparently. I mean, what do I even do here? I've ended it with her clearly, but then there's my dad who is trying to now fix things and wants me to forgive her. Why? First of all, you don't get to say anything. Second of all, why you're giving him advice or forcing him into these things? Leave him alone. I honestly just want them both to leave me alone. Why? First of all, you do something like this, then you just tell him, and then you're just suddenly scared he's going to hurt himself, and then you're suddenly worried about his mental being or whatever. And then you don't leave him alone, trying to guilt trip him into forgiving her. What is his issue? This dad is so... Okay, we have an update, so let's move on to that one. First of all, I'm doing okay. In fact, I have slept well these last few days and I had support from some unexpected places. Many of you wanted me to go public and tell everyone. I did not have to, as my now ex-fiancé took care of that for me as she told her best friend, expecting sympathy. Instead, she raged at her, and now most of her friends and mine are now fully aware of what has happened. That's amazing. She handled it herself. You didn't have to tell anyone, and she expected sympathy from people. I think they're both insane and they deserve each other, like, honestly. Because they don't seem aware of what their behavior has caused and how bad their behavior is. Like, what is his issue? By the way, this is so pretty. Her best friend called me and we spoke for over an hour. Apparently, whatever angry thought I may have had regarding my now ex-fiancé was nothing to what her and her friends subjected her to. Wow. That's even better. It makes it so much nicer when the person that betrayed you loses their whole surroundings, their friend group, friends. I love it. They now have completely cut her off and they even asked her if she slept with any of their fathers. Amazing. Love it. People do not realize that if you accept the behavior of this kind of person, they can do the same thing to you. It doesn't have to be the exact same situation, but you need to realize that this person is capable of doing a lot of things. And if they are doing this to their own fiancé, to the person who they are closest to, you can expect this kind of behavior also to others. If someone does this type of thing to one of my close friends or anyone, I need to cut them off myself, because if you're doing something like that, apparently you're not that great of a friend or a person. So ciao ciao.
Ciao.
Her best friend also told me that she still believes I will forgive her and that she wants me back. Not happening, and seems to be a little shall we say, unstoppable right now. She seems like a total wreck. I also spoke to her parents and told them to give her time and don't kick her out. I honestly, despite what she did, don't want anything to do with her. Her parents are probably more pissed at her than I am. I also met my dad. Oh, we spoke in person, and honestly, the reason we spoke is that I wanted to pick up some things from home. I had a friend of mine with me just in case I felt the urge to punch him. He made no attempt at small talk, and my friend was walking very close by me, like he was expecting me to attack him and was ready to restrain me if it happened. So that's the update. Girlfriend is a nervous wreck, dumped by all of her friends. Her BFF and I have become good friends. No, we are not sleeping together or anything like that. But she has supported me and we have kept talking on the phone. She has been cheated on herself, but she could not even begin to imagine what I went through. Yeah. The whole cheating with one of the parents stays like one of the worst betrayals. Honestly, I feel okay. My dad and I have cut off completely after I got some of my mom's things, including her wedding ring. I'm taking this, I told him, and he did not argue. And you can have this, and I gave him my engagement ring. Not expensive, and honestly, I did not know what I was going to do with it anyways. You gave him the engagement ring of your fiance, like you can propose to her yourself if you want to. He just looked at me, and now finally it dawned upon him just how badly he had messed up. I also told him to stop telling her that I may forgive her. You're messing with her head and she really needs to realize it's over. He said he would not contact her again. I told him I did not care if he did or not. I got in a car and left and felt a lot better. So that's the update, folks. I may have gone too far with the ring business, but honestly, if he wants her, then he can marry her. Okay, there's a final update. I just decided to post one final update since I have been bombarded with questions on how I'm doing and if anything has happened. I'm okay. My dad and my ex-fiancé have not contacted me at all and have left me alone. I have had moments where I felt lonely and angry, but I had people who have been there for me. My ex-fiancé's BFF and I gotten close and we decided to go on a trip, me and her. We are not together, but we have gotten close. Okay, good for you. That's nice. Dad and my ex-fiancé, like many predicted, have been talking and someone spotted them together in town. I kind of suspected it would happen, so they got together in the end because they have no one left, of course. It honestly does not bother me. They deserve each other and just thankful I found out before I married her. Most people have found out what happened. Dad and her have lost a huge part of their social circle, so I guess with many discussed it with them both, they found each other. Misery loves company after all. I also made it clear to my other friends that if they want to contact her and talk to her, that also doesn't bother me. I don't want to control anyone or make anyone feel they have to stay away from her because of me. Okay, I can imagine in the beginning you want nobody contacting her, but at this point it feels like you're over it. You're not over it. You will never get over it, honestly. But like I said, these people should realize themselves that they don't want anything to do with her. A person like that is not a person you want as your friend, even though they didn't betray you. I am not going to be the vindictive a-hole that only hurts me in the long run. So to summarize, I'm doing okay, still seeing a therapist, and I've gotten close to my ex-fiancé, former best friend. I do get depressed and feel anger and lonely sometimes, but I have learned to deal with it. I spent an entire weekend cleaning my apartment to get my ex-fiancé's perfume smell out of my apartment, since that was the big trigger for me. Oh wow, her smell was still around the house. What kind of perfume is that? Can you tell me the name? I think it's a good one that you change the bed and some items in the house because you used to live there, you're about to get married, and everything. You have a lot of memories with that person in the house, so it's good that you did that for yourself to freshen up a bit and try to have a clean slate. Giving the dad the engagement ring was a baller move. Wow, yeah, true. Seriously, to me it's like him saying, you see this ring? You don't deserve the memory of mom. She would be disgusted by you. But this ring is as worthless as you are and you deserve it. Exactly. This is exactly the description it needs. Perfectly said. If people weren't sure if parents could betray their own children in unimaginable ways and they came to Reddit to find out, well, now they know. True. It surprises me every damn time. It amazes me what people think they can get away with and be forgiven for. Yeah, true. I swear some people literally don't even consider that there will be consequences to their actions. By the way, I'm really sad he didn't tell us the details on why she did it, because he said, I eventually got the full story, won't write that here painful enough. So I'm a bit sad we didn't get to have the details on what was the reason, what was the reason of the affair from her side, from his side. What were they thinking was going to happen? They would say that to him. They would like admit the affair. So I guess they wanted to move on together. Did she want to break up the engagement, have a new relationship with the dad? Was that the reason of the conversation they had? Were they just, because I mean, nobody was trying to hide it. It was not like one of them told the other and the secret got out. It feels like they wanted to share the story with him. Like, we want to inform you we're having an affair for the past 3 months and that's it. Do what you want to do with it. It's a bit strange. So just get together already and just have your life together, because at this point you don't have anyone else. So just get married. Do whatever you want. I mean, but leave everybody out of this. And I hope it was worth it. But yeah, guys, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed this longer video of mine. So this was the parent edition. And next week we will have a sibling edition. Next week we're doing part 2. And that is about sisters and stepsisters betraying each other. And honestly, it might get even worse. Thank you so much for sticking around until the end. And if you enjoyed this emotional damage with me, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you next week. Bye.